Hey guys, welcome on into another episode, Getting Well with Terry and Friends, Trends and Betting Picks. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's slate. And apparently, won't be streaming to Twitter because Twitter now requires you to have a premium account to stream live broadcasts on Twitter. So that's kind of interesting. So Twitter wants money, basically, for me to stream the streams on Twitter. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is, I guess. Um, and I had no idea that was even happening until right now. So, of course, hope everyone's All Star break was good. No sports for a few days. We have MLB to talk about today, two CFL games to talk about as well. Um, and here's your little rant of the day to start the show off. Why would the CFL schedule 2 games for today, when there was nothing yesterday? The CFL could have grown their audience, by um, getting more eyes on, the game, with not a lot of games playing, not a lot of sports yesterday in general, so they kinda missed out there, but it is what it is, I guess. We will jump into today's slate. We'll jump right into it here and start with today's games. We'll start with MLB, and of course, um, move on to the CFL here. So I'm a little bit disorganized today. I was not expecting um, not to be able to stream live to Twitter, which is kind of annoying. So but we'll jump into it here. First game of the day is between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Chicago Cubs here, starting in the afternoon. Ryan Nelson on the mound for the Diamondbacks, Justin Steele on the mound for the Cubs here in the afternoon game. And to be honest, I do lean with the Cubs. I do lean with the Cubs here. Justin Steele has been great recently. He's won back-to-back starts, giving up one earned run total. Went 9 innings against the Angels, 7 innings against Baltimore. Gave up 5 hits and one earned run. Overall, 2-1 in his last 7 starts with a 1.65 ERA. So Steele was getting lit up earlier on um, in the season at times, but he's really found it recently. Ryan Nelson on the other side, 6-6 with a 4.98 ERA on the season. Um, his last start against Toronto, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, no decision, but had been pitching very well before that against the Padres and the Dodgers. This Arizona Diamondbacks team comes into enters the All Star break on pretty hot run. They're now 49 and 48 on the season. So we've got this afternoon game. I do lean with the Cubs, but I ultimately don't want to get involved. I found these early standalone games, especially on a Friday or sometimes Mondays, usually involves the Cubs, and usually things don't go very well. So I'm just not going to get involved here in this one. Eugenio Suarez has been very hot for the Diamondbacks recently. He's 0 for 5 against Justin Steele. Ketel Marte, 2 for 11. So he hasn't had a lot of success either. When it comes to the Cubs, Suzuki, 1 for 4 with a triple. Nico Horner, 1 for 4 with a double. Ian Happ, 2 for 3 with a double. And Christopher Morel, 0 for 3. So it's not like anyone has a whole lot of success against the pitchers they're facing today. So ultimately, we're just going to stay off this game here today. Jump into the live chat here. Welcome back, Terry. Thinking we should be treading lightly on hitter props coming out of the break? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Uh, Definitely going low volume today. So get ready to be hearing the word pass on some slates today. Um, you're using your DK plus 200 boost on Jordan Alvarez to get plus 440. All right, best of luck. Best of luck. I actually don't have any home run props today, but there are a couple guys I like for multiple bases, and most likely they'll hit a home run. So we'll discuss that actually coming up very soon. Next game up is the Philadelphia Phillies and the Pittsburgh Pirates here. Aaron Nola on the mound for the Phillies. Martin Perez on the mound for Pittsburgh. Perez uh, has really struggled this season. 1-5 with a 5.15 ERA in 14 starts. A loss against Milwaukee, 9 hits, 5 earned runs. No decision against St. Louis, where he gave up 7 hits, 1 earned run, and then a loss against Atlanta in his previous start, 8 hits, 6 earned runs. So it has not been a fun time for Martin Perez recently. Aaron Nola on the other side, 11-4 with a 3.38 ERA in the season. He's won back-to-back starts. Overall, 4-2 with a 4.04 ERA in his last 7 starts. So he has got hit a bit recently, and he's been known to give up some home runs as well. Pittsburgh, another team coming into the break, playing pretty good baseball. And there's some teams here that did not want the break to happen. And there's some other teams that definitely did want the break to happen. Pittsburgh's definitely not a team that wanted the break to happen. They were just playing great baseball heading into the break. Trey Turner, 4 for 12 with 2 doubles against Martin Perez. As I said, Martin Perez has been struggling lately. So I got Trey Turner over 1.5 bases, minus 115 at Bet365. Not exactly the best price, the best odds, but I'll take it here with how Trey Turner has been hitting and with how Martin Perez has been pitching. Schwarber 1 for 8, so we're not going to take him. We'll pass on him there. Cabrian Hayes has been hot recently, but he's 1 for 9 against Aaron Nola. Brian Reynolds is 2 for 15 against Aaron Nola. Both guys have a home run, but a lot of strikeouts, a lot of flyouts, a lot of no hits. McCutcheon 3 for 19 with 2 doubles. Ultimately, we're just going to stick here with Trey Turner here in this one. We will continue on along to our next game, which is the Cincinnati Reds heading to Washington to face the Nationals. Frankie Montas on the mound for the Reds. 4-7 with a 4.38 ERA in the season and 17 starts. It's been kind of rough for him recently. Overall, 2-3 with a 4.1 ERA in his last 7 starts. So he has been getting hit a bit recently here. His last start against Colorado, 8 hits, 5 earned runs in the loss. But then had a win against the Yankees before that and a loss against the St. Louis Cardinals before that. But he only gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run over 6 innings and recorded the loss. So hasn't really been pitching well, but hasn't been getting shelled either. And then we've got Patrick Corbin on the other side. He is 1-9 with a 5.57 ERA in 19 starts this season. He did have a stretch there where he wasn't pitching too bad. And not good, but not too bad. And that was a decent stretch for him. But now more recently, 8 hits, 4 earned runs against Tampa Bay, 6 hits, 3 earned runs against St. Louis, and then 8 hits, 4 earned runs in his last start against the Mets. Overall, 0-3 with a 5.12 ERA in his last 7 starts. So hasn't been going too well for Patrick Corbin. And now he gets a Cincinnati Reds team coming in here, and quite a few hot batters on Cincinnati heading into the break. Ellie De La Cruz, 6-game hit streak, back-to-back games with the home run, multiple bases in 5 of his last 6 games. So he has been hitting the ball very well recently heading into the break. I'll take him over 1.5 bases for a half unit. He's 5 for 8 against Patrick Corbin with a home run. Rhys Hines has yet to face Patrick Corbin, but he should get that opportunity tonight. In his 7 MLB games that he has played, he's got a hit in 6 of the 7, multiple bases in 5 of 7. He's just been great for the Cincinnati Reds. He'll be looking to continue his hitting after the All-Star break. Spencer Steer, 2 for 6 against Corbin. So not horrible numbers. Uh, did have a home run in the second game before the All-Star break. Not going to get to his props here in this one, though. Santiago Espinal, former Blue Jay, has really found it with the Reds heading into the All-Star break. 6-game hit streak, home run in 2 of the 3 games before the break, and RBI in 5 of 6. So Espinal has been having guys on base when he's been getting these hits. There's been guys on base. There's been guys in second, third. He's been getting RBIs. Overall, 2 for 4 against Corbin, both singles. So going to stay off Espinal's props as well. But Jonathan India, multiple bases in 4 or 5 heading into the break. 4 for 10 with the home run against Corbin. So we'll take him over 1.5 bases. The hottest hitters for the Nationals, Juan Yepes, multiple bases in 7 of 9, 10-game hit streak. And then Luis Garcia Jr., over 2 against Montas. Garcia has been doing pretty well recently heading into the break as well. But we're going to focus here on India, Rhys Hines, and Ellie De La Cruz, all over 1.5 bases here. Play of the day is Castellanos over 1.5 bases. Okay. Best of luck, Justin. And you're on a Hines and Cruz. Yeah, I love it. I love it. But we'll continue on along to our next game here. Tampa Bay Rays and the New York Yankees here in this game. Zach Eflin on the mound for the Tampa Bay Rays. Garrett Cole on the mound for the New York Yankees here in this one. And when it comes to a side or total perspective, I don't have anything here. I do have a prop, though, which we'll get to here in a second. Brandon Lowe, 6 for 37 against Cole. All 6 singles. So no extra base hits there. Andy Diaz, 14 for 51. Yes, he's got 14 hits against Cole, but 51 at bats, which is a lot. 2 doubles, 2 home runs during that stretch. Ahmed Rosario went into the All-Star break with multiple bases in 5 of 6. So he's been doing pretty well. But 2 for 16 against Cole. And the issue with Rosario is he's not an everyday player. So you don't really know if he's going to be in the lineup or not. The player we're going to be taking here, Juan Soto. Half unit on over 1.5 bases. He's 14 for 31 against Zach Eflin. 3 doubles, 2 home runs during that stretch. So we'll take Juan Soto over 1.5 bases for a half unit, which he did in 4 games heading into the All-Star break. Go into the comment. Yankees over 8, and you like Andy Diaz and Juan Soto over 1.5 bases unit each. All right. Best of luck. But we will continue on along to our next game here. Detroit Tigers and the Toronto Blue Jays here in this one. Jack Flaherty on the mound for the Tigers. Chris Bassett on the mound for the Blue Jays. Both pitchers pitching pretty well right now, especially Jack Flaherty. He's got back to his St. Louis numbers when he was in his heyday before, of course, dealing with injuries. He has won 5 of his last 6 starts. And in those 5 wins, he gave up 1 earned run against Cleveland and 1 earned run against the White Sox. Against Boston, Texas, and Houston, he didn't allow anything. So Flaherty has been very, very, very good recently. Of course, he did have that 1 loss against the Angels, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 home runs in that stretch, but everybody has bad games, which was what happened there in that one for him. Chris Bassett on the other side, 8-7 with a 3.52 ERA. Coming off a win against San Francisco, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks. Against Houston before that, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 walks. So Bassett's got to keep those walks down. And overall, he has got hit quite a bit in the month of July. So he'll be looking to turn things around here. Uh, Ultimately, and this is the funny thing. So on this spreadsheet here, um, this is the farthest I've had to go down the line because we have a lot of players that are actually doing pretty well for both teams. So I actually went to the last spot before having to create another one with how many players are that are doing well. The issue is that I'm not taking any of them with the pitching matchup we have. So Horwitz, he's been doing not too bad. Alejandro Kirk was hot heading into the break. Same with Ernie Clement. George Springer is 0 for 11 against Flaherty. So there's absolutely no way I'm going near Springer props. Varsho was hot heading into the break. 1 for 7 with the home run against Flaherty. So not good numbers against Flaherty. Justin Henry Malloy, not getting to his props. Ryan Valade isn't projected to be in the lineup. I have no idea what's going to happen with him. Colt Keith, Riley Green, staying off their props. I did lean with Riley Green. Ultimately, didn't get to it, and not taking Carson Kelly either. This game here, a lot of hot players right now, but with the pitching matchup we have, I just don't really want to get into props. So no props here for this game. I hit the like button. Thanks, Justin. Much appreciated. Tigers plus 107 for a unit. Yeah, I think Tigers win today. They were playing great baseball heading into the break, for sure. Blues first 5? Question mark. Hey, Terry? Blues? Blues. Oh, Blue Jays? No. No. Uh, like I said, I would lean with Detroit here in this one. I want to go with Toronto. Of course, teams that were hot heading into the break may not necessarily continue it here after the break. So that's why we're kind of keeping things a little bit low volume here today. I want to see how teams come out after the break. San Diego Padres are facing the Cleveland Guardians here. Matt Waldron on the mound for the Padres. Tanner Beebe on the mound for the Guardians. I do lean with Manny Machado over 1.5 bases, 2 for 3 with 2 singles against Tanner Beebe. Ultimately, not enough for me to get to it. Xander Bogaerts, 1 for 2 with a double. He was also hitting the ball pretty well heading into the break. And the Guardians' offense has kind of dried up. So for them, the All-Star break came at a great time because their offense was really drying up. Angel Martinez, the only hot player on the Guardians right now, back-to-back games with multiple bases. I would lean with his props, but again, I want to see how things go after the break. So no props here in this one. New York Mets and Miami Marlins, and this brings us to one of the games where we don't have an official pitcher confirmed for the Mets yet. There's a few other games coming up where we have pitchers that are supposed to be starting, but not on MLB.com yet, so not technically official. Jose Iglesias came into the break playing very good baseball, multiple bases in 3 games in a row. He's 0 for 2 against Edward Cabrera, who's had a rough go. 1-3 with an 8.26 ERA in 7 starts. Hasn't been great for him in the games he's played in. So the Mets should hit him. Not a lot of hot Mets batters heading into the break, though. So kind of passing there. And the Marlins players, Jesus Sanchez, multiple bases in 4 or 5 heading into the break. He'd been doing well. Berger, back-to-back games. Xavier Edwards, 4 of his last 5 multiple bases. So we have some Miami batters that were hitting the ball pretty well heading into the break. no success or no at bats against Sean Manaea, who's supposed to be starting for the Mets. Ultimately, don't really want to get involved here. Now, Miami props may not necessarily be a pass going forward because there are players like Jesus Sanchez that want to be traded. They want to be traded out of Miami. So you may see players' production actually rise a little bit here as we approach the trade deadline. Mets over 8.5 for a unit, and Marlins money line plus 115 for a unit. All right, best of luck. Best of luck. Continue on along to our next one here. St. Louis Cardinals are facing the Atlanta Braves here. Sonny Gray on the mound for the Cardinals. Um, Spencer Schwellenbach on the mound for the Atlanta Braves. Sonny Gray 9-6 in the season with a 3.34 ERA. Overall, it's been a bit more rough for him recently. Let me bring it up here. His last start, a loss against the Cubs, 9 hits, 3 earned runs. Against Washington before that, 8 hits, 5 earned runs. And against Cincinnati before that, 7 hits, 3 earned runs. So Sonny Gray has been getting hit quite a bit recently, heading into the break. Schwellenbach, overall 3-4 with a 4.43 ERA. He's won back-to-back starts, only giving up 1 earned run total in both starts. Going 6 innings against Philly, 7 innings against the Padres. So 13 innings pitched, only giving up 10 hits. So hasn't been as bad. He's been much better recently heading into the break. Looking at it here, Alec Burleson, we're going to take him half unit over 1.5 bases. He's done that in 6 of his last 8 games heading into the break. 2 for 2 with a double against Schwellenbach. Wilson Contreras 1 for 3 against him. Brendan Donovan 2 for 2, both singles. So not going to get to his props here. For the Braves, I do lean with Marcell Ozuna. Multiple bases in 5 of his last 6 games heading into the break. 3 for 13 with a double and a home run against Sonny Gray. So I really do lean with Ozuna props. Didn't end up getting to it though, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a double or a couple hits in this game. Weather involved in the Braves game. Yeah, I heard that. So that's another reason maybe to kind of stay off. I did go with Burleson here, but that's it. That is it for this game. Moving on along to the next one. And this is one of the teams that really wanted the break to happen. The Baltimore Orioles, overall struggling heading into the break. Corbin Burns on the mound for the Orioles. Nathan Eovaldi on the mound for the Texas Rangers. And we've seen this line move quite a bit since yesterday. Baltimore is now around minus 114, minus 120, when they were minus 140, minus 150 last night. So we've seen the lines move here towards Texas. And with the pitching matchup, we have Burns and Eovaldi on the mound. I would have leaned with Texas getting I think it was like plus 130 last night. Now that it's plus 105, I wouldn't want to really get to the side here. I didn't get to the side at all, side or total, so no loss there for me. But Anthony Santander, the hottest Orioles player heading into the break. Of course, only one player on the sheet, as the Orioles were really struggling heading into the break. Multiple bases in 2 of 4. He did hit a home run in the final game before the break. Not going to get to his props. Marcus Semien, multiple bases in 5 of 6 games heading into the break. He was hitting the ball well. 1 for 4 against Burns with a single. I'm going to pass there. Josh Smith won a home run in the final game before the break. He's only 1 for 3 against. He's only 1 for 3 against Corbin Burns, so only 1 hit and 3 at bats. Corey Seager, on the other hand, 4 for 7 with a double and a home run against Corbin Burns. So Seager has hit him well. The issue is that Seager kind of cooled off the last couple games heading into the All-Star break, and then didn't really do much of the All-Star break in general. That reminds me, all the stats here, of course, do not include the All-Star game. So I'm not including that because the All-Star game in the numbers here. So just wanted to clarify that. I do lean with Corey Seager in some fashion, but ultimately not enough to get to it. He's been kind of cold heading into the break. Want to see how he does heading into the second half. Rangers plus 107 for a unit. Yeah, I would lean that way. If I was getting to a side, it would be that way. But I'm not. Next up is the White Sox and the Kansas City Royals. Nice and easy pass here in this one. Chris Flexen on the mound for the White Sox. Michael Wacha on the mound for the Kansas City Royals. Both teams had one hot player heading into the break, Luis Robert Jr. and Salvador Perez. You guys know I don't bet White Sox props. And Kansas City, I'd like to see a little bit better here. Like if this was 6 for 8, maybe I would get to Perez here, but 2 for 8 with the home run. Ultimately not going to get to it here. So this game is a pass. Moving on along to our next one here, San Francisco Giants heading to Colorado to face the Rockies. Kyle Harrison on the mound for the Giants. No one yet announced for Colorado. It is supposed to be Cal Quantrill. So we'll see if that is what happens. Mike Yastrzemski, multiple bases in 4 games in a row heading into the break. So he was hitting the ball pretty well. 2 for 10 with a double against Quantrill. Patrick Bailey also hitting the ball not too well, or not too bad heading into the break. Brenton Doyle, Michael Toglia, both hitting home runs. Toglia in 3 of 4, Doyle 2 of 3 heading into the break. Ultimately, not going to get to their props here. Doyle 0 for 5, Toglia 0 for 0. Ezekiel Tovar 4 for 9 in his career against Harrison, all 4 singles. Multiple bases in 4 or 5 heading into the break. So the Rockies do have some hot hitters here. I want to see if it continues after the break. So not getting to any of their props here. But wouldn't be surprised to see one of these two guys hit a home run with how they were doing heading into the break. So we'll see what happens here in this game. Royals minus 1.5, plus 110 unit when I bet it. All right. And Rockies plus 120 for a unit. All right, so Justin's you're on quite a bit of games here after the break. Nothing wrong with that. I decided to take things a little bit low volume here on the first day back, but we'll see what happens. LA Angels are facing the Oakland Athletics here. JP Sears in the mound for Oakland. Nobody yet announced for the Angels. It's supposed to be Tyler Anderson. We'll once again see if that is what happens here. Zach Neto, Mickey Moniak, not getting to either of their props here. Joe Adell, passing on his props as well. And then with the Oakland Athletics, quite a few hot hitters for Oakland heading into the break. Unfortunately, Rooker, the hottest hitter here, 1 for 9 against Anderson. The one hit was a home run, but overall 1 for 9. Rooker has great numbers here heading into the break. Lawrence Butler, I believe, hit 3 home runs in the final game before the break. He's got a home run in 2 of his last 3. He's been doing well. Hasn't faced Anderson before. Langoliers, 1 for 7 against Anderson. Zach Geloff, 1 for 5. So not good numbers for the Oakland Athletics. Seth Brown, 0 for 3. So not good numbers against Anderson if that is who starts. But all these hitters, Brown, home run in 1 and 2, Geloff, back-to-back games. Butler, 2 of 3, back-to-back games for Rooker. These Oakland Athletics players were hitting home runs heading into the break. So we'll see if it continues here. And we'll see who's on the mound. If for some reason it isn't Anderson, I may make some additions here to this game later on. Boston Red Sox and the LA Dodgers here in this one. Gavin Stone is now confirmed, so I can edit this here, which I'll do it now. We will do it now. I believe that's the right color. Rafael Devers home run in back-to-back games heading into the break, so he was doing pretty well. Willier Abreu, multiple bases in 3 of 4. Again, hitting the ball well. 0 for 3 against Stone. So he's faced Stone before. Jaron Duran, who got the MVP in the All-Star game. Multiple bases in back-to-back games heading into the break. Teoscar Hernandez, not going to take his props. We are going to take Shohei Ohtani. Multiple bases in 3 games in a row heading into the All-Star break. He's 4 for 9 with a double and 2 home runs against Nick Pivetta. So he's hit Nick Pivetta pretty well. We'll see if he can continue it here in this game on tonight. And that Ohtani prop is my only late play on the night slate. Although I do have a play in the CFL game, which we'll talk about. Dodgers over 8.5 for a unit. All right, best of luck. Best of luck. And then finally, we've got the Houston Astros and the Seattle Mariners. Jake Mayers doing very well. Hit in 5 of 6 games, multiple bases 4 or 5, a home run in 2 or 3, RBI in 4 or 5. He didn't want the All-Star break to come, that's for sure. 1 for 8 with a double against Castillo, who's supposed to be pitching. Hasn't been confirmed yet. So ultimately, not going to get to his props. I do lean with Julio Rodriguez. 4 for 10, 2 doubles against Hunter Brown. Multiple bases in 3 of 4 heading into the break. Hunter Brown was getting smashed at the beginning of the season, then was unhittable, had one really bad game, and then was much better in his recent game, in his recent start. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly what we're going to get from Hunter Brown here. So ultimately, lean with Julio Rodriguez props, but ultimately not getting to it here in this game. Astros money line and Astros under 7. All right, best of luck. And going to look at Alvarez bases after the show. All right, best of luck. But that is the MLB slate for today. Of course, the only 2 teams not playing today, Milwaukee and Minnesota, will both be playing tomorrow. So stay tuned to that. We will go on to the CFL. And of course, we'll start with the power rankings here. I'm giving out both of my premium plays in the CFL tonight. So I'm giving them both here out on the show. In 9th, the same as last week, is the Hamilton Tiger Cats, who don't move from their position in last place. Of course, Hamilton didn't play last week, so no way for them to move up here. Now, if they have a convincing win against Toronto tomorrow, maybe and get their first win, maybe they could move up a spot, but we'll have to see. Edmonton Elks, once again in 8th place. Of course, Edmonton firing their head coach / general manager, Chris Jones. They'll be looking to see if that really helps. But we'll be discussing Edmonton here in a few minutes. Once again, finding a way to lose a game when they had a very, very good chance of going to overtime. But the Elks do what the Elks do, and that's blow leads. Although they were only tied at that point, but it is what it is. Ottawa Red Blacks, I have in 7th. They didn't move at all from last week. Calgary moved down 1 spot to 6th place, and Winnipeg moved up 1 spot to 5th place after last week. Winnipeg starting to play better, and again, we'll talk about them here shortly. Toronto in 4th spot. Did consider moving them to 3rd, but going to stick with them at 4th here. Saskatchewan in third place. And finally, since the first week of the season, we've got change at the top. I moved BC Lions to first place in the power rankings, and Montreal Alouettes to second here. This BC offense is just dominant, and overall, they are my number one ranked team heading into this week. I seem to like both your CFL videos already and bet both because I don't cap or watch the CFL. All right. All right. So there you go. You know both my plays, Justin, here in this one. I do have a touchdown prop I really like as well. And we will jump right into that. We'll jump into the first game. Edmonton Elks, Ottawa Redblacks again. Why the CFL didn't have this game yesterday? Of course, not the best teams, but they could have had a larger viewing audience with not a lot of sports yesterday. Overall, these teams just faced each other on Sunday night in Edmonton, and now they're heading to Ottawa to face each other in Ottawa. Edmonton 0-5 in the season, have yet to win a game. Yes, they have kept games close, with a few of their wins being by 3-point losses. Overall, they've yet to cover a +1.5 spread on the season. Ottawa has covered the 1.5 spread when they do win. Both teams 3 of 5 going under, 2 of 5 going over. Edmonton scoring a little bit more. Ottawa allowing a little bit less. Overall, Ottawa 5-2 in the last 7 meetings between the teams. We have seen unders when these teams have faced each other for the most part. I'm on Ottawa money line. That's my premium play here in this game. I like the Red Blacks to take care of business. This will be a game that I will live bet as well. I got Ottawa. I was on Ottawa +3.5 last week, and then got Ottawa money line +215 live. I do expect with the head coach firing, Edmonton will most likely come out strong here early on, which means we'll get a great number with Ottawa live. So I'm on Ottawa money line, and then we'll be hammering them again. I guess I shouldn't say hammering, but I'll be betting them again live if Edmonton does take a lead, which I do expect Edmonton to have a lead at some point, probably earlier on. And I'll look to try to get another +2 something with the Ottawa Redblacks. Not getting to any Edmonton props here. I am obviously on Ottawa. Kevin Brown under in his receiving yard or rushing yards could be a good look. We went with Dylan Mitchell over in his receiving. Didn't get it last week. He didn't look all that good, and just Edmonton in general just didn't look good. Both of these guys trending under in their props, so not getting to their props either. Drew Brown overall hasn't had a lot of passing yards until last week when he had over 400. So an absolutely amazing game by Brown last week. We'll see if we can keep it going this week. Armstead, Edmonton struggles against the run, but Ottawa didn't run much. So they didn't really care about that and passed the ball quite a bit. Not getting to Hardy props, not getting to Acklin. Dominique Grimes, who's struggled overall this season, had a great game, getting 131 yards last week. But the big surprise here for Ottawa with last week was Khalil Pimpleton. 153 yards in his first CFL game, and he got a touchdown. What a beautiful run it was as well. This guy's got a lot of speed. He can really, really run, and he's going to get to face this Edmonton defense once again. Anytime touchdown, +180 at FanDuel. So I got a half unit on that. My only prop here in the 2 games tonight, Khalil Pimpleton. If I could get his receiving yards, I'd be betting that as well, but it's not available. But I will go with the touchdown and hope he can once again find the end zone. He is fast. He has got speed. And that was very obvious in his first CFL game. So Khalil Pimpleton touchdown, as well as Ottawa money line. And then we'll be looking to bet Ottawa live also, if they are down here in the first quarter tonight. I bet Elks money line +127 on Wednesday now, +105. Okay. Expect a boost with Chris Jones gone. Okay. Red Blacks 7-29 on home ice since 2019, 1-5 against the spread. In their last six following a win. Then Terry can laugh at me. Hey, I it's better for you that it is being played in Ottawa because the Elks, obviously being the worst home team in professional sports, um, I would definitely, if I was going to look at Edmonton, I would want to look at them on the road. For me here, it's this Elks team just finds ways to lose games. And yeah, I expect the boost with Chris Jones as well early. And that's why I'm going to be betting Ottawa live because this Edmonton team just finds ways to lose games. And I believe that's what they'll do here. So be looking to back Ottawa live, but also taking them um, pregame as well. But going on to the second game of the night, of course, it'll be happening a little bit later. We've got the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, 2-4 in the season, going under 50.5 in five of their last six games. Saskatchewan, 4-1 off their first loss of the season. They've gone over in four of their last five. So we've got a Winnipeg team that goes under. Of course, not last week when I bet the under. They beat Calgary 41-37. So both offenses really went off last week um, in their game last week. As you can see, Winnipeg has dominated Saskatchewan, winning 10 of the last 11 meetings, covering the 3.5 spread in 9 of 11. And we have seen higher scoring games between these teams. For me here, though, I'm on Saskatchewan plus 3.5. That's my second premium play I'm giving out here. Reason being, Saskatchewan off their first loss of the season. I expect them to bounce back. The Saskatchewan team is not the same Saskatchewan team they've been the last few years. And this Winnipeg team is also not the same Winnipeg team that has won 10 of the last 11 meetings between these teams. Now, Winnipeg has looked good in back to back games. And while I do think they could win this game for sure, I think the 3.5 is just too big of a number. I think this game is close. I think we get a 2-point, 3-point victory for whoever wins. So I'll take Saskatchewan plus 3.5 here. I still don't believe in this Winnipeg Blue Bombers team. Now, if they get a big dominant victory here in this game, then maybe I'll be willing to say that the Bombers are back. But I haven't seen it yet, and I want to see it here in this one. When it comes to props, Kalaros had a great game last week, but we haven't really seen it consistently from him. Brady Oliveira is heating up. Back-to-back games with over 109 rushing yards. So Oliveira has really got it going. Saskatchewan is good against the rush, though, but pretty bad against the pass. So wouldn't look at Oliveira, but overall he has been doing much better recently. Not getting to any of these three guys. Ontario Wilson got a touchdown last week, but not enough for me to pull the trigger on him. AJ Ouellette has been pretty good recently. Two of his last three over 71.5 rushing yards. Not getting to his props. Not getting to any of these guys' props here in this game. This will just be a game that I hope Saskatchewan can get the win or at least keep a close game here in this one. Any thoughts on the total? Sask has gone over in 15 of their last 16 games. Well, that's the issue here is that when these teams have faced each other, we've seen high scoring games, and Saskatchewan has been such a high scoring team. So I would lean with the over. The issue here is that Winnipeg has been, of course, not last week, but prior to that, has been a very low scoring team. And I can see the Rough Riders playing much better here defensively here in this game. So I am off the total. I'm off the total here. But if somebody was forcing me to get to the total here, I would look at the over. I would. But I just don't like it enough. pull the trigger on it here today. But thank you everyone for watching. For people that are going to be rewatching, because I'll obviously have to post a link on Twitter. Twitter now requires a premium account to stream the show on Twitter. So that means basically Twitter wants me to pay however much it is monthly to be able to stream it on Twitter. Probably not going to end up doing that. So unfortunately, people may have to start watching the show back here on YouTube. Of course, I'm streaming on my Facebook as well, but that doesn't really help anybody. So it is what it is. We will do our recap of today's slate. And then, of course, but let me refresh here. And then, of course, we'll finish off the show. Trey Turner, over 1.5 bases, minus 115. Rhys Hines, over 1.5 bases, plus 125. Jonathan India and Ellie De La Cruz, both over 1.5 bases, plus 112. Khalil Pimpleton, anytime touchdown, plus 180. Ottawa Redblacks money line, minus 120. Juan Soto over 1.5 bases, plus 140. Alec Burleson over 1.5 bases, plus 115. Saskatchewan plus 3.5, minus 110. And Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 bases, plus 100 on today's slate. Premium plays available over on Picks and Parlays. Obviously, don't buy my CFL plays as I gave them both out of the show. I do have an MLB 3-pack up on the site. So 3 premium plays in the MLB. You guys can get that over on picksandparlays.net. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Of course, come and watch the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Of course, as I said, probably won't be streaming on Twitter anymore. Because I don't want to pay them money. I don't want to pay Twitter money. So it's not that I'm going to go broke paying them. It's just the point of it is I just don't want to give Elon Musk some of my money. So we'll see what happens there. But thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you guys on the next show. Most likely tomorrow, but we'll have to see. Might just come back on Monday. But thanks everyone for watching. Best of luck on today's slate.